Hi, welcome to the Community Victory Garden meeting. I'm Dot Brennis. I'm going to be chairing tonight as Nancy Marr, our chairwoman, is not available tonight. I'll start by calling this meeting to order. And our normal secretary, Chris, is not here tonight, so if there's someone else who can write down the minutes, that would be great. Or I can take notes myself. What do you think, Carol?
What do you think, Dot? Go for it.
Okay. So we need an approval of the minutes from July. Those were sent out by Chris a few weeks ago after our meeting. Does anyone have a motion to approve minutes? All right. We have two motions to approve, so we'll approve the minutes from July. Thank you again, Chris, for doing our minutes, and we can't wait to see you next month. So there's a lot of communications. There's actually a couple of things missing on this agenda because they had not been completed yet, and that is actually down on updates for the ramp project, but the ramp project is complete, and I'll give more information when we get down there because I did meet with Craig Abbott, the scout who's working on it. Great kid. After the work day, we did a lot of work around the weeding of the beds. We did some solar project work, which we'll have a little update on that later on. We did a lot of work in the forest and a lot of trimming. So that was really, and we actually stained the kiosk. And there is, I think, still one shingle on that kiosk that's down. So we talked about maybe working on re-roofing that if we can. Food collection for the Penfield Ecumenical Food Shelf has begun. On Tuesdays, a volunteer picks up food and brings it over to the Ecumenical Food Shelf. And the rest of the week, that food is picked up by a volunteer in the cooler at the garden and kept until Tuesday, as long as it can be kept. If it's already started to rot, we cannot keep it. So we want to bring the best and the freshest that we can to the food shelf. Other communications are that there has been a lot of swallowwort that was removed from the forest, and that swallowwort was bagged and picked up by the town parks department because we cannot put that in the compost because it is an invasive. And there is also some more garbage, the old fencing that was by the shed that was moved. That garbage is there, and I will contact the town about picking that up as well.
How did you get the shed actually moved?
I have a video of that that I can share with you. It's kind of hard to describe what Craig did, but they used the 4x4s. Mm-hmm. They kind of made a track.
Oh, okay.
He has a like a high-speed video of it, so you can see it, like sped up in time. And it was just like a bunch of kids just basically pushing it on this track.
Oh, great.
I mean, you get a bunch of kids together, I guess they could pretty much do anything. Yeah. So, it looks amazing. But I have some more information about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it really opens up the area around the shelter. It's much more open.
It does. Nice. It absolutely does. And for one of our pieces to that, which actually comes under projects and under ramp project, we need to get a couple pieces of vinyl fencing to put up. We had talked about that, months ago, so that there would be like a screening there in front of the compost area. But I think, I was there today, I think we set it farther back. And we're gonna have to till or level that land there, because there's like a big hump of soil or rock or whatever was under the shed is there, so.
Well, that might be a timing thing. If we want to get grass in, we're going to want to get that in the next month and a half, right?
Right, yeah, and I would like to get the fence up as soon as we can. Although grass does grow so quickly in Rochester that sometimes, sometimes you leave a bare spot and you get the grass, but you're right, we do have to get that tilled up and leveled out. I think we could put it on for our next workday. Do you think mid-August is too late for that?
No.
No,
You know,
it's a good
okay,
time.
so that's good, all right.
Dot,
Yeah,
there are also a lot of ruts where the shed was moved. Is there any possibility that maybe the town could provide some fill soil to fill in some of those ruts that, when it was dragged, you know, naturally create some ruts?
yeah. I think there's a lot of leveling that has to go on over
Yeah.
there. And I don't know if maybe it'd be, rather than getting fill, maybe it'd be better to try to get like a bobcat to level it out. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a sense of how bad it is.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, you gotta, yeah, after you look at it, at the next meeting, we can talk more about it. We'll definitely put it down as something that we need to talk about, leveling that area, so. All right. Any other communications that anyone has? Okay, public participation?
Nope.
Nope. All right. And just so you know, Carol, Fran did come in, if you're writing down a list of people who are here. I don't know if you can see them behind you. So the one action item we had that really was something we were hoping would get done was the date for the shelter opening, but Nancy and Sabrina are kind of still working on that. The camp and some other things are over soon, so there'll be a little more time to take a look at those schedules and see. I think it would be nice if we had that area kind of, you know, worked out a little before we do that, because it's really bumpy behind the shelter pad now, so. And then the other one that was, oh, I forgot, is the water, the question about the water that Sabrina was, she's not here tonight, so she'll get us more information next time about trying to get the water permanently inside our garden instead of out at the hydrant. So running it so the meter can be inside the garden. Those are the two action items that we had up. Sabrina sent the budget for the financials. We did spend money on the ramp project. There's a couple things that can get returned, so there'll be some money going back. I'll just talk to Sabrina about how that money gets back into the budget. So now we're up to projects. This is like this is where the meat and bones of the meeting is here, all our projects. Solar project, Larry, how's that battery?
All right, yeah, so we had a couple of work sessions, you know, each week to try to, you know, finish it up. We kind of waiting on the cabinet that the town was going to give us, so we got a place to put everything inside the shed. But the solar panel itself is up and hooked, all the devices hooked up. We had a fault condition on it because we didn't hook up a battery, so I took a old, you know, mower battery that I had in the garage and charged that up and put it on it so it would at least cure the fault. It probably doesn't have a lot of juice to run anything, but with full power coming from the solar panels, I don't think we need much from the battery. So we can bring whatever cordless tools into the shed now and plug them in and try it out.
Okay, yeah, the tools are already there because we brought them up on the workday.
Okay.
And I did forget to mention that Mike came out, Mike and I, and we cut down some more of the trees close to the solar panel. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
The ones that were
We're gonna-
right in the corner that were kind of hanging off towards the shed, because we thought it would be better if there was any kind of, well, if there was a storm, they could potentially damage the solar panels.
Yeah.
So that was why we cut those back.
So, like I say, for the sake of the project, the next step, if we want to go further with it, if it doesn't run all right with just a small battery on it, would be to purchase a battery and put
Okay.
that on the system. But it should be okay to try out all our cordless tools.
All right, when I go up there tomorrow, I'll try to figure out how to plug in everything and charge things up.
Yeah, the big box with all the 110-volt outlet on it is what you gotta, plug everything into. There are 6 outlets on it. So I didn't bother putting like a plug strip or anything on it, because we probably don't have that much stuff to plug in.
And I think I also have to bring a Sharpie up there so I can label all those pieces with our, community garden initials on it. So, and I think I'm going to put the date on the batteries too,
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
so we remember what year we bought them. I mean, we could find out, but it'll be like a thing where we're like, when did we get that?
You should number the batteries as well.
Good
That way,
idea.
if one goes bad, we'll know which. I've got a lithium-ion one at home that doesn't hold much of a charge, so I got a piece of blue tape on it, so I know which one it is.
Okay,
So
sounds, do you think that just using a Sharpie will be okay, or will that fade away?
it'll be good
No,
enough.
it'll
No,
be
it's
fine.
permanent.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, if you like, I can bring my labeler along and,
I have an engraver
But-
that I do, you
Oh.
can engrave on it, so
okay, that's, yeah.
bring that.
You can engrave on a battery?
Well, just
yeah,
on the
it's all plastic, the case.
On the case, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you won't hurt it.
all right. Anything else? I know we already decided that we would buy the battery if we needed it, so
Yeah.
once we figure that out, we should be able to make that purchase without having another meeting about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think the project should be in pretty good shape.
I think people are really jazzed about it. And the kids that are in the class that I teach were like, what is that? What does it do? So, it gave me an opportunity to explain to them how you can use the sun for energy. So that was really awesome.
I have a
too.
question about that. You say the solar panel could charge right now. I mean,
Yeah.
assuming you're doing it in the afternoon and it's sunny, right?
Right,
Okay.
yeah, well, as long as it's got enough sun, it's got the capability to put in 600 watts of power while the sun is shining.
Wow.
That's pretty good. So, yeah, we were initially thinking we wouldn't need any battery, because 600 watts would power, if it would get converted and then routed to our, power tools, we might not need a battery at all. When the sun came up, with enough power to turn on the chargers, it would be recharging our tools. But like the system wasn't particularly happy with it. And it's not as intuitive to run as I had hoped either, but I think once we get everything hooked up and running, it's going to be pretty cool.
Did you say we need to purchase another battery?
We may need to
We
purchase
may.
a battery, depending
Okay.
upon what happens, with the battery that Larry put on there, whether or not it is whatever the right size, or,
It was pretty wimpy to start with. I mean, it
Okay.
wouldn't start my mower anymore, but, it's enough of a 12-volt presence to make the software happy and the controller.
okay.
So,
Okay.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And actually, thank you to the gardeners who volunteered to come out to help Larry get that solar panel up, which is heavy, heavy. Well, 3 solar panels, really.
yeah, I should have calculated what the total weight on it was. I probably can do that and report back on it, but yeah, it was heavier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And then, all the work that was done before that for you, just to build the frame, and then also the wiring and the troubleshooting of what's happening right now. So that's it is definitely, it's fulfilling a dream for the whole garden, I think, because
Yeah.
it's going to make it easier for people to be able to trim around their beds. All right. Any other questions about solar project? No? Okay, ramp project. So I met with Craig Abbott on Tuesday, great kid. He had a crew of, at times he had like 20 people up there helping him. And he, went over some of the things about the ramp that we needed to know, like the posts are dug down more than 2 feet with cement in them, so they're below the frost line. he put that tar, sticky tread stuff on there. He said it holds up in winter with shoveling and everything like that. And I said, no one's shoveling this ramp in the winter, so don't worry about it. They had the team of kids that moved the shed. They also weeded the berm. They weeded the whole berm. Because I went up there and I was like, wow, look at this. So really, really amazing and great project. And I know that our one gardener who has a handicapped family member was ecstatic to see this ramp. She
that's great.
texted me, she's like, Dad, I see the ramp, it's so fantastic, I'm so happy. So now she can get her family member up into the shelter to, you know, be able to be at the garden with them, so. The only other thing now for us to do is to put up the vinyl fencing so that we still have a screen there for the things that we have in the back.
And that's going to go beyond the shed, right?
It's going to go beyond where the shed used to be. So it's still going to be screening the shed
Okay.
and the compost, but I'm thinking it should go a little further back. Like imagine where the back of that shed was.
Yeah.
You know, 2 or 3 feet back. When you go there and you see what it's like, it does look great because it's so open. It would be nice to have a little bit of lawn behind the shelter. But it's also nice to be able to have something there to kind of cover what sometimes can be a little bit chaotic in the compost area. So I think that'll be a good addition. I've been looking at the prices for those pieces of vinyl fencing, but I'm also looking to try to find ones that are free. I've been scouring, you know, the marketplace and the Craigslist. So if anybody hears of free vinyl fence panels, you know.
My neighbor just got rid of some 2 weeks ago.
Isn't that always the way?
How much do you need? How many feet? Like 10 feet? 8 feet?
I would say 2 panels. Are they 6 foot? Are they 6 foot long
something like that,
each?
probably?
12
Okay,
feet?
2 panels.
Yeah, 2 panels. That's how much we had of the stockade was 2 panels. And then you can always use 4x4s to put them up. You don't need the specific vinyl fencing post. Because I did vinyl railing on my little front deck, and it's, you know, you can either do the post or you can do the post with the covering or
Yeah.
the steel. They have all these different options, so. Any other questions about ramp? All right. Forest natives. So in the forest, we've been working on taking out the swallowwort. I know a couple of gardeners are on board with me and some other people, and we've been pulling it out. And we have permission from the town to bag it so that they can come and pick it up, so it's not going into our compost. And we have access to some plants that we can add to the forest that are native plants that are going to be more, possibly be able to crowd out some of that swallowwort, although I hear it's very hard. There is a black walnut tree, a young black walnut tree along the path if you walk, and you can see, you know, the circle that nothing grows underneath it, right? So you can see the circle of nothing growing underneath it because the tannins that come out of the black walnut, and then that swallowwort goes right up to the edge of that circle, and you can see it's all like browning and dying, and I thought, gee, if we could just plant the whole forest with those walnut trees, that'd be great, but eventually the tannins would be in our garden,
right.
and that would be bad. So,
Are all the trees doing okay? The big trees we planted?
the trees out back in the food forest?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
Okay.
They definitely took some damage, first-year damage from the heat early
Yeah.
in the summer.
Yeah.
What's doing really well are the herbs. The garlic did really well. But the perennial herbs back there are doing great. And I've been moving around the pond, I've been putting in some plants, and I've also been bringing, the milkweed at my house has gone to seed. So I've been taking the milkweed and the seed pods full. First I check them for monarchs, and then I've been laying them out there. So as a way to kind of like mulch down the swallowwort and then add the milkweed seeds so that you can have milkweeds for the caterpillars, and hopefully it can crowd out the swallowwort, because I know milkweed can be pretty aggressive too. So, which is why they call it a weed. So that Forest Natives project is a long-term project, and it's possible we may have a scout that's interested in doing some work in the forest. And if you haven't been out there, there is also now a forest shelter that my nature club built with sticks, and there's also some fairy houses out there that the kids did in Nancy's fairy trolls and gnomes class. So the forest is looking pretty nice. It's a nice space. All right, next item is the pepper project. So Dave, somebody told me their peppers are ready and they want to pick them.
That's my first question. I've never grown hot peppers, so I have no idea
That's what I
to
said.
know when they're ready.
Yeah. I wasn't
Do you have any
sure.
idea?
If you do talk to them on the phone, from what I read on this variety, they will transition from green to yellow to red.
Okay.
So if the longer we wait, eventually they'll all be red, which might be what they want for the pepper sauce, I don't know.
Okay.
As long as I brought, 18-inch square insulated boxes and put like 4 of them in the shed.
Oh, okay.
If we need to, kind of keep them from getting hot when we ship them. They're like, shipping
Yeah,
boxes.
that's what I was going to talk to. If I
Cooler
can-
boxes.
I haven't been able to get a hold of these folks, because that's what I wanted to know. How have they been receiving, how are they packaged?
Yeah, they might want them, because if we seal them in a plastic bag or in these styrofoam boxes, the moisture might make them mold pretty quick,
Yeah.
so they might just want it in plain cardboard as loosely thrown as possible,
Well,
just to keep them
that'll
from
Yeah, I'll have
molding.
Yeah, they'll absorb the water.
So Dave, you email them and they don't respond?
I phoned, I've emailed, and I haven't got 0 response so far.
That's
I'll
not
try
very
again. I
good.
got the number, because he said, we always make a point to point out to our gardeners first, and if anything over the course of the growing season comes up or falls through the cracks, please email me here or call my personal number, and I've done both.
Huh.
So I'll try again.
Where are they located?
Let's see.
Are they in our time zone?
I
Yeah,
think it's New York City.
they're in Long Island.
Really? I was just on Long Island last weekend. Where are they on Long Island?
Somewhere where there's soil.
Somewhere, no, there's only sand on Long Island, Dave.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know what the exact address is.
All right, well, I'm going to be down there again, so,
Small Axe Peppers.
okay.
Small who?
Small Axe.
Small axe
A-X-E.
peppers, yeah.
AXE?
Yeah, Peppers, that's the name of the company. And it says there's just 3 of them, so. maybe
It's a
I just
small
call-
company,
I
yeah,
called-
they're,
I probably called on the 4th week when nobody was assigned. So I'll
well,
have-
maybe they were at the beach. I mean, they're on an
Oh,
island
okay.
after all.
Well, I'll try again, and,
Yeah, they were supposed to be mature between 65 and 77 days.
Yeah.
All right, so we got time.
So we would ask the gardeners to pick their particular plants and put them into one of these
Containers.
containers.
Yeah, I was thinking of putting a box out at the garden and putting a sign on it that says Pepper Project Peppers, and then consolidate them up, and maybe once you get enough to send out. Because I know mine aren't that big right now. The ones I have in the children's garden are kind of small.
Yeah,
So,
The ripe peppers will go bad pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I grow a lot
Once
of
they
hot
get
peppers
red.
and they do go bad. I freeze mine because they come in waves.
yeah.
And when I make hot sauce, I just freeze them. So I don't know if they'd accept them frozen.
Maybe, if you can get a hold of them, maybe they want them dried too. That would be easy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh my God, dried. Do you know how
Dried
long it
would
takes?
be-
I dried so many hot peppers last year. I mean, it took hours. I have to do it in my garage or else you get asphyxiated from it. It's like
Yeah.
living in a house full of bear spray.
Yeah, that would be, that,
Oh, yeah, it's bad. I got some great crushed red pepper that I made, though. Yeah, really
Well,
good.
I've got to get a hold of these folks or this is going to be a bust.
Yeah.
So I will try diligently this coming week.
Okay. Well,
get a hold
I'll send a message to everyone and let them know that, we're working on, because if we can say, like, say this August 15th, if we find out what's happening, pick a date, whatever date, August 20th. Everybody pick peppers. I'm going to collect them in a box because Sabrina said the town would ship them. And,
Yeah, they were all planted pretty close within a week of each other, so.
oh, yeah. I mean, they're all coming in, so,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
didn't
I'd hate to
know.
have us grow them, have really good-looking peppers and then go bad on us because we didn't know
Right.
what to do.
we'll raffle them at the dinner.
That would be bad.
Might have to contact Ledestri and make our own.
Yeah,
That's
there
right.
you go.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Or we could just find a person who has a license to make food service things who also knows how to do hot pepper sauce, which some of us know how to make it already. We just have to have somebody with the
food.
certificate so we could do it in the town kitchen. Yeah. All right. Oh, hi, Mark. I'm glad you came back. I hope everything's okay.
Yep, no, everything's fine, thanks.
All right. Tiller repair. I did send you the
Yes,
message.
I haven't done anything with it, so
Okay.
I keep forgetting,
It's all right.
but,
Nobody's tilling right now.
yeah, I was gonna say, luckily, nobody's.
Yeah.
But, yep, I will still take care of that.
Okay. Fall dinner needs. I know Gavin, who's not here tonight, but she is on the committee, offered to assist with fall dinner, which should be in October. I know that our Dolomite Lodge is reserved. And I also know that we have some things that are inventoried that we can take a look at.
I'll help you look at that.
So is
Okay.
that the first Thursday we're going to do it in October?
I think, let me look at my calendar, because I'm pretty sure that we put it in our calendar at the last meeting. Nope. I'll have to open the minutes from the last meeting, because I know we discussed it. I think we said, I'm not going to quote it, because I'm on TV and I'm going to say something, and then we'll be like, no, that's not it. I'm going to have to look, Dave.
Sure.
We'll get back to everyone. It's October, so, we got a couple months. But,
It may also depend on how this whole thing with COVID goes, because if the numbers keep going up, I mean, right now, they're not restricting restaurants at all, but
yeah,
the numbers keep going up and they start restricting, indoor stuff.
right. And then, so the other option could be that we could do an outdoor one.
Right.
There's outdoor pavilions that we can use. It won't be as swank as the Dolomite Lodge, but, there's outdoor, like at Harris Hill, they have just the shelter. So it would be weather permitting, but the town would tell us what we could do and when we could do it on that one, so whatever the rules are. So the dinner things are in the shed in bins.
Okay.
So we can look through those and see what we have. All right, we've got some held items, gutters and rain barrels and bat houses, and I know we talked about putting up a ladder and getting up there with the bat houses. And
There is not a straight tree on that property.
there is not.
I mean, I walked around the perimeter, and it's like, there's just no straight trees.
Because-
Everything leans at this big angle, and it's
Yeah.
like, short of building brackets on the trees, I'm not sure how we're gonna hang anything.
Yeah, those trees are weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we've cut a lot of them, That one that was where the shed is now. Remember you said we had to
Right.
cut the tree? And
Yep.
so Mike and I went up to cut them, and that tree was like this.
Yeah,
And, you know, the thing came up, and then it was like almost at a right angle. It was crazy.
so I don't know.
I have no
Um,
idea.
I did have one thing, it sounds kind of weird, but for the owl house, because they've only got to be like 10 or 12 feet off the ground, I think, for the
Yeah.
owl houses or nests. And I actually picked up one of those portable basketball hoops that a neighbor was throwing away.
Genius.
And it's about 12 feet high at the top. And I'm thinking, well, you know, we could put that in, we just got to weight down the thing so it doesn't fall over or tie it to a tree. And you got a nice straight pole with a bracket on it that I can mount a board to and then mount the owl nesting box onto that.
That is a great way to repurpose basketball hoops.
I mean, it's, you know, it sounds kind of strange, but it would work.
But it's very, like, I don't know, when you think about it, so it's, I mean, I guess somebody could use it for scrap metal and make money off it, but why not
Yeah, it doesn't
repurpose
weigh-
it and give an owl a home?
Yeah, it doesn't weigh a whole lot. I mean, it's a hollow tube. There's not a lot of weight to it
Yeah.
for that. And it's movable, so if we decided we wanted to take it down or move it somewhere else or whatever. we
Right,
can.
right.
Is it a box? Is the owl thing a box?
It's a net, almost like a wood duck nest. It's, I don't know,
Okay.
about like that. But,
I think that would be cool to put it on a basketball hoop. I don't know, does anyone think that's a bad idea?
Oh, absolutely not.
You don't think it's good?
It's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk?
You just
and
can't
it
make
says
this up.
I know for the owls, they say it should be on the facing south. So we want
Okay.
to put it on the north side of the field,
Oh, yeah.
facing out. And there's a couple big trees there that we could tie it, you know, sizable trees that we could tie it to, so it's not going to go anywhere.
Won't blow over, yeah.
Won't blow over.
So a lot of those things have like a thing on the bottom that you could put like water or
Yeah,
stones
this
in?
one does, yeah.
Could we put concrete inside it?
Well, I was thinking maybe just take some of the concrete blocks and put them on top of it.
Yeah, or
That'd be enough weight.
sandbags.
If it's tied to a tree higher up, that's all it takes, and that way, we want to move it, it's easy to move.
All right, do you need help getting it? I know you have a trailer, right?
Yeah, oh, no, it doesn't weigh anything. I threw it in the back of my van when I brought it home. And, so, yep, I just got to replace some of the bolts we're missing on it. And-
That's a great
Now,
idea.
do we have an owl, do we have the nesting box or not?
I
Someone-
think we have one. I think
have
we have an
one?
owl nesting box and we have two bat
Two bat
houses.
houses.
Okay, is it in the shed, or is it,
I gotta ask Nancy.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it is.
Now, the bat house is supposed to be like 15 to 20 feet. That's much more of a stretch, so I don't know.
And they like south facing also for the warmth.
Yes.
So maybe you could put one of each on it and see who moves in
Really?
first.
I guess that was, because when we
Yeah.
were, when
They
we
like-
were on Long Island last weekend, we were hiking and there were bat houses along the trail. I don't know, I guess maybe 15 or.
Yeah, they may prefer taller, but they'll go in anything if it provides, you know, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Well, people get rid of those basketball hoops all the time. I'm sure I can find.
How
Another
tall
one.
did you say a basketball hoop is?
I think it's like 12 feet.
Okay.
12 feet. I mean, with
The
the
pole.
with the pole and with the bracket that holds it on, and
All right.
yep.
Well, maybe if I see one, I'll grab it too if I'm in my truck. That sounds like a great
Plus,
idea.
I could mount a vertical 2x10 on it or something and have it go up even higher if I wanted to.
That's true.
So,
And then with the gutters, I think I have a bead on someone that can help us put it up.
Oh, good. Awesome.
So
All
I
right.
didn't feel comfortable tackling it myself.
I understand. Neither did I.
The question is, where are all the fixtures? Are they still in the?
They're in the little shed.
Okay, how are they packaged? Because I looked, I didn't look really diligently, but,
So they were in a box, but that box was.
and a bee nest in it.
A very large wasp nest.
Ooh.
They were those yellow jacket wasps.
Yes.
Yeah.
so it's in there, I'll look for it. Is it okay if, I think what we're going to do is take the measurements, do all the cuts there, get the brackets up and possibly do the cuts elsewhere?
Yeah, whatever you
I-
need to do, that's
okay.
fine. I mean, if you need to use electric tools, I have a Ego power station that you can plug things into.
And that was a limiting factor, was the power tools.
Yeah, I have an Ego power station, which is, it's a battery power station. It is awesome.
If you got some serious tools, I could bring my generator over
gonna
for
say
a
I've got a
while.
generator.
Oh, that's right, Larry has to get generators.
We
Okay,
use the
so that should-
generator.
We can coordinate that?
Yeah, we use the generator in the fall with a couple of air compressors and set up different spots and blow out the lines that way, so I can bring it and put it in the shed even if you
Because
just
all,
wanna-
it's really just chop saw that is
Yeah,
needed, I think.
It'll do that all day long,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
All right.
I hate to ask. What's your name again?
Glenn, you don't like my mask?
I do, I love it.
All right. So that's awesome. We got the basketball hoop for owl nesting boxes, bat houses, and the lead on the gutters and rain barrels. Old business, I have nothing there. I don't know why. New business. I am not sure if the town recreation department is doing their typical Halloween party at the community center. But I had an idea that came out of something I saw. Ontario Pathways does a pumpkin walk on their trails. And basically you get a whole bunch of pumpkins and you cut them and you put lights in them and you put them up along the trail and you can walk through, when it's dark and it's cool and it's spooky. And then we have the food forest with the spikes. We could do some decorating there.
Hang bodies on them.
Hang bodies, yeah, skulls, whatever. And then I thought that we could maybe coordinate that with the Halloween party at the town. And Sabrina's not here, so I'm going to pitch the idea to her as as a community service, part of our mission to reach out to the community so that people could go to the town Halloween party, go to the ghost walk at the cemetery, and stop over at our pumpkin walk. I don't know how people feel about that, but I think it would be kind of neat.
I
For-
second that.
All
Pretty
right.
good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, just, it's more community outreach to get people, I mean, now that we have so many more young families participating too, which is fantastic, we can get people to bring their kids and things like that. I think it would be neat. So I'll speak to Sabrina more about it, and
have any idea how many pumpkins we would need?
that's a good question.
We could check with Jim Baum and see if we can get some from him.
Yeah,
Too.
we could ask.
If they want to, just throwing this out, not associated with that, Boy Scout Troop 260 does haunted hayrides for both the Rondequoit Country Club and Locust Hill Country Club, I believe. So they have a lot of props and stuff for Halloween.
Oh, all
And
right.
they might be able to assist some too if you stay away from the 2 days that they're going to do that
It's
for
Troop
the
260?
golf clubs. 260.
Which, do you know which?
St. Joe's.
Oh, we're up by us.
Wait,
Okay.
I didn't hear you.
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's, thank you. Okay. That's what I thought you said, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I don't know if the town has this on their schedule yet, or whether or not they've changed the format or what. So I just really need to talk to them, so. Any other new business?
I forget who it was, somebody at the garden asked, now this was when the shed there was facing the old way, because there were a couple bags of pop bottles
Yes.
sitting there, and they were asking about someplace they had been before, and they basically had one of those, basically a big box with a lid on it, so that the stuff wasn't out, you didn't see it when you walked by. I don't know whether it was one of those, like, outdoor toy boxes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But they just now that it's, once we put up a wall or whatever we put up there, you won't see it anyhow. I mean, people hopefully will walk around
Hopefully.
and put the bottles behind, but that was just a suggestion they had. You know, plus having them inside something probably would be better so they don't get broken open and scattered if something happens.
Right.
So I've noticed with a lot of the stuff coming in paper bags now, after rain, I've picked up some because they just, break
Ah.
down. So I think back before when we had plastic bags, it wasn't an issue,
Right.
but I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's an excellent idea. I'm trying to think if I have something.
Again, that's something a lot of times people give away for free. They get bleached out by the sun or something and they don't want them. I mean, as long as it's got a lid and it's solid,
Right.
We don't really care what it looks like.
It's a good email to send out to.
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. No, it's a good idea. Excellent.
Well, that's something, sometimes if you put that on that buy nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, the buy
Penfield,
nothing
That you're
thing.
looking for something for the
Yeah.
Penfield Community Garden.
Free Cycle is on there.
Yep.
Even the Nextdoor app, but, you can put it on the
Yeah,
Nextdoor app. if
anything
you're
like
looking
that,
for stuff.
people sometimes
What do they call
will
those things? Oh,
respond.
deck boxes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's,
It took me, I'm like, what is that?
and actually, I had mentioned this, I think the last meeting, I talked to my neighbor the other day, they have one of those vinyl walls that they had up last year and then took down, and it laid in their side yard for, the pieces of it stacked up for a while and then it disappeared, but he said they've still got it. He had to check with his wife to see if they still wanted it, or I said,
Oh.
look, if you want to sell it or donate it,
Yeah.
let me know. So he's going to get back to me once he checks with his wife, make sure she doesn't. So that was, it was probably 8 or 10 feet wide.
That's fantastic.
What was it, Mark?
It was a vinyl fence,
Fencing.
big, but it was tall. It was probably
Okay.
8 feet, 7 or 8 feet tall, and
Yeah, like they had it
Yeah.
there for their garbage pails or something, right?
yeah. But it was just a straight, that they got from somewhere. And they still must be in the garage because I haven't seen it outside. But so I will find out and let you guys know.
Thank you.
So two things that I spoke with some folks about was frustration over the broken watering cans.
Yes.
So it seems like they're all broken now, I guess. I
Yeah.
bring my own. Do we have a budget to replace that?
Yes, we
or-
do.
Okay.
Yep. I have to get them. So or ask Sabrina to pick them up for us.
How much are they?
They're not that much money. I don't know, like
Well,
$12.
I'm just
maybe.
saying, I see them at estate sales all the time for
Yeah.
a buck,
Yeah.
$2. I can pick them up.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah,
As long as you just make sure the head's not broken. And
right. They always break over the winter. That's the thing.
Would it make sense to buy galvanized ones? I don't know. Would they last longer?
They probably would.
I think I have 3 plastic ones at home now, and I don't need 3 of them, so.
I have one, a galvanized one I don't use. I'll bring it up there.
Say we just put a sign up.
I never
Anybody
use
have
watering
extra?
cans. I just have it on my property.
Also, there's a lot of I'm sorry, did you have another one, Glenn?
Yeah, real quick, someone brought up the idea, and I really liked it. I could see there being some limitations for it, but planting rhubarb on the berm. Now, the concern I had was, I don't know what that fill is, and, is that soil safe to plant something in? I'm assuming it is, but I don't know. The nice thing about that, rhubarb will get so big that, it's going to be a natural mulch, and it'll cut down on weeding.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be too dry up there. I just don't know if it'll take, but I thought it was a neat idea.
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
It is worth a shot. And we all have rhubarb we can split and move. I mean, I know I got tons of it.
Did they refill the berm after they moved some of the rock away? Is there new fill on the berm, or is that
There
the
was new
original
fill on the berm, yeah. And all the fabric is out of the berm.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We took all that out. That was a project. The NAS students did that for us.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't heard anything from them, so I don't know if they're doing their regular summer project or not. I'm going to go with probably not, so.
The other thing, I know there was, when you cut down the trees overhanging the thing, the wood's just laying in there. Do you
Yeah.
want to get rid of it?
Yeah, the wood is going to be cut up, picked up, chipped up. I mean, some of it can be brought to the town.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because I've got the trailer, and
Yeah.
since I'm my days are free, if I can get somebody to give me a hand, we can load the trailer up and run it over.
Right,
sometimes if
yeah.
we need to and clean, because it's kind of messy back there.
Yeah,
Even before we cut the
after,
tree down.
I know, after, next week is my last week of the summer program I'm running, so I can help you after that.
Okay.
I have my days free after that, and I can see if anyone else is free.
Yeah, just ping it out, I can help as well. Next week I'm out, but after that I should be
Oh,
free.
okay. Great, Glenn, thanks.
All right, and I'm trying to remember when our next workday is. I thought we had an August workday on the books, but I cannot remember. I'm looking right now. And I'm not seeing one, so maybe it's a September workday. I have to look in the Sprout calendar, because it's all in the Sprout calendar. If we were having one, it would probably be either a Thursday or a Saturday. So, and I don't see it on my calendar, so I'll have to look in the Sprout. Anything else? Oh, we're good? All right, so our next meeting is September 2nd, which is a Thursday, and we should be, I believe we're going to be at 7 o'clock. I don't know that we're going to be at 7:30 again, because I might need to bring my blanket and my pillow if it's going to be at 7:30.
Did you say the 7th?
Normally, we start at 7, yeah.
No, did you say the 7th? What was the date?
Oh, the
Second.
second, the
Second,
second. I know,
sorry.
it's very hard to hear everything.
And what time? Is it?
7?
I'm going to say 7 PM unless Sabrina tells us otherwise. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, well, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, and Mom, I hope you got to watch.